I was taking a nap and I wake up to like 10 missed calls, 40 texts. I'm like, who died? And it's like Taylor Hall is being traded to Carolina. And I'm like, at this hour? at this hour? Or when it's like 6 p.m. or something. And like I start seeing tweets come in being like, this is a multi-team trade. And I was like, oh crap, I have to get out my computer and start writing right away. And then when it came through that like Natris was a part of the trade, I literally like fell on my knees and just like started screaming. My RA lived next door to me at the time because I was living in a residence hall. And like she texted me and was like, are you okay? And I was like, no!
Welcome to Sass and Slapshots, a podcast for women who love hockey and by women who love hockey. We're here to give listeners weekly news, game analysis, and cultural hockey conversations from the perspective of two women who found hockey later in life. There's no shame in our game, from veteran fans to rookies just discovering hockey. Everyone is welcome to learn more and encouraged to become obsessed with the best sport on the planet. Let's dive like Ben into today's episode.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Sass and Slapshots. I'm V.
I'm Sarah.
And today we are super excited to introduce you to Kat Whetstone. I'm going to read her bio and then we're going to get into an incredible discussion that I am sure will be very eye-opening and life-changing. So, Kat Whetstone is a writer and mental health advocate. She is the founder of Hockey and Heels, a blog about the Columbus Blue Jackets and NHL as a whole. High Functioning, a blog about her recovery journey, and is the co-founder of Sunshine and Hockey, a newsletter breaking down hockey headlines from the perspective of queer, neurodivergent people. Manic Autistic Dream Girl is her first book. She lives in North Carolina. Welcome to the podcast, Kat.
Welcome,
Thank
Kat.
you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
I mean, I think we followed each other on Substack like a month and a half ago, something like that. And I read your bio and I read what you're doing, and I'm like, oh, yes, she's gonna be my friend. It's like queer, neurodivergent, loves hockey. Check.
In. Let's go.
Yeah. So I guess the first question is like, tell our listeners more of who you are and how you got into the world of hockey to begin with.
Yeah, so I am originally from Columbus, Ohio. That's where I stem from. And I'm going to make you guys feel very, very old for a second. And I'm so sorry. I was born 3 years after the Blue Jackets came to Columbus.
Yeah. It's okay.
And so like hockey was kind of like in the background of my life, but not like the big sport. The big sport in my life growing up was football. My mom is an Ohio State alumni. Football is like a religion in Columbus.
O-H.
I-O.
Yeah.
My dad was actually born in Ohio, Youngstown. So he is he is a huge Buckeyes fan. So like I come home and it's Buckeyes everything.
Yeah. And
so I get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like Ohio State, Michigan is like a bigger holiday in my house than Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very much like what I grew up with Duke and Carolina. Like that was very much the same vibe, like the same intensity. And it is it's very much a religion that is practiced.
Yes. And I ended up moving to North Carolina when I was 8. I moved to Charlotte. So okay. I had like the Panthers and the Hornets, but they weren't very good. They were, again, just like in the background of my life. And when I was 19, I committed to Meredith College, which is a very small all-women's college down the road from NC State.
Do you still wear your ring?
I never got one.
You never got a ring?
I withdrew after 2 years. And the Hurricanes were 2 miles away from campus. So my parents took me and my brothers to a Hurricanes game. And I was just hooked from that moment on. Yes. And it didn't help that my first friend at Meredith was a huge Dallas Stars fan.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Both more faces.
And she would like take me to games and stuff. And I just became a huge, huge Hurricanes fan. And I started out as a writer for the Meredith Herald, which is the college's newspaper. And I had a Twitter account that was devoted to just shitposting. Yeah, just entirely shitposting about the Canes. Mostly going, this power play sucks. What are we going to do about it? Avs fans, I'm sure that you guys know that very, very well. Yeah. And one of the editors at a site called Inside the Rink DM'd me on Twitter and was like, hey, I think that you'd be a really great fit for our website. So I became a Hurricanes reporter for 2 years.
That's awesome.
And then
That's so cool.
I went, and then I got into the Blue Jackets again.
Who did you write for when you were writing for the Blue Jackets?
I wrote for a site that I call The Outlet because it was so, it just was very toxic and
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
No.
So I ended up leaving that outlet like in the middle of the season.
Okay.
To start
right.
Hockey in Heels and essentially save my own life.
Yep. The previous job I had before us starting Sass and Slapshots was very much the same thing. It was just, I got extremely burnt out and I was like, if I don't leave, I'm going to have a little mentee bee. And so I was like, bye, peace. But yeah, kudos to you for leaving that place. We never want to see anybody in a workplace environment that sucks the soul and joy and health out of you. So snaps to you.
Yes.
It was very much one of those like cases where it was very like high control to the point where like I was taught that like other people in the hockey media industry were like evil and out to get me, and if I ever left the outlet that it would be like big trouble. And nothing ever happened when I left. So I was like, okay, what else were they wrong about?
Yeah,
right.
You start to question like everything. Well, again, I'm really glad you're out of that situation. What gave you the bravery to just, you were just like, whatever, I'm going to do my own damn thing?
I think it was a combination of, just a combination of not wanting to be pushed around anymore and wanting the freedom to talk about the Blue Jackets in a way that wasn't turning it into a joke. Because the Blue Jackets, when I covered them, I began covering the Blue Jackets the same season that Johnny Gaudreau passed away. And there was pressure on me to be funny because it was run by comedians.
And that's not okay. Yeah.
Like, there was just so much pain in Columbus that I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Like, there was nothing funny about Columbus that year. It was just entirely, these people are trying their best to survive the impossible.
Yeah.
And that's why I left.
Yeah, I understand the need for levity for like a season, but when something that tragic happens, it's like there's like read the room, like
right. And I think he was such a good influence on the team, and just from what I've seen, such a teammate that I don't see how they even played, much less brought any levity into the room at that time. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah. And like someone that I worked with formerly broke the story on Twitter. So I found out on Twitter that someone that I was covering had passed away. Like, I was never fortunate enough to meet Johnny Gaudreau or interact with him, but I've heard so many amazing stories from other Columbus writers. And yeah.
And like when you're reporting on people, it becomes like a parasocial relationship, really. Like, I know Cale McCarr's dog's name, like, it's, and you get to know who they are as people, off of the rink. And yes, we might not know these players in both the NHL and the PWHL, but we do know them and spend a great deal of our time talking about them and reporting on them. And, I can't imagine finding that out online like that. Yeah. When you know people in the organization, that is super heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really love how Columbus has maintained a relationship with the Goudreaus. They're always there. I mean, their dad is pretty much at the rink all the time. I know that they support his wife and their kid and
kids.
Yeah, it's such a tragic story, but also wholesome in a way that like they still take care of their own, even though he's no longer here. It's nice to know that there is still some good in the world, especially in the NHL. So,
yeah. Big time.
Yeah. So what's the main difference between, you weren't a credentialed writer, were you?
I was credentialed for the Hurricanes.
You were. Okay. So what's the main difference between being a credentialed writer and having more of a structure and guideline versus being able do whatever you want. Like, is there a difference in your writing style? Like, what do you love to write about versus what you were basically forced to write about?
Yeah, so I loved being credentialed. I loved getting to talk to these players. When I was a fan, actually, I would stay super late after games
Mhm.
and just wait for like players' cars to drive by so that I could just like,
Yeah.
and like I wouldn't want them to sign anything. I just wanted them to talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though like I am autistic, I'm not a big socialization person. I love socializing with these players and like interviewing them in a very structured environment. And now my Blue Jackets recaps are based off of MTV's Jackass. So like you can see how much my writing has changed just by like looking up old player interviews that I did and then going to now where every recap begins with, "Hi, I'm Kat and welcome to Jackets."
I love it. I love it. I love
That
it. I
is
knew it was
fucking
coming.
incredible.
As soon as you said Jackass, I was like, I know what's coming.
That's so funny.
That's amazing. Love
Oh my
it.
gosh. Yeah, I love
Now it's gonna be
meeting.
running through my head all night.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
now it's
I'm sorry,
Jackets.
millennials.
No, I love it.
Now every single time I see the Blue Jackets, I'm gonna be like, "Welcome to Jackets."
Yeah, they did this thing for their 25th anniversary. Their social person, Lauren, who is a genius, created this idea of like why don't we make our schedule release themed like Jackass? And they made a t-shirt that says Jackets on it in the Jackass font. And I have that t-shirt. And my friend Laura was like, well, who's also an Avs fan,
Mhm.
was like, well, why don't you base your recaps around this? And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah.
Let's do it. I love it.
Yeah, I think like that's the best thing about sports and just like doing your own thing in any industry really is just being able to inject humor into it because with reporters, and I understand why it's a good thing that there's ethics and you can't do certain things, but independently it's like, man, how do we make sports transcend just sports bros, like ESPN and empty netters, like how do we make it fun for people like us? And that's incredibly hilarious. I love that.
Well, and I think when we get with the people who are credentialed, they, like you said, there's guidelines and there's stuff they have to follow. Sometimes it can be so dry and so just, it's the same thing, repetitive. It's
Yeah.
the same questions, the same answers, the same everything. And you're just like, can we do something? Let's shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
I actually, being credentialed actually was one of the best things of my life because it got me my autism diagnosis when I was 21.
Really? Please
Yeah.
tell us
Yeah,
more
please
about
tell
that.
us.
Yeah, so I was interviewing a player. I will not say his name. He's so funny. He's hysterical and so witty, and it goes under the radar of English being his second language. And I did not know this at the time when I was interviewing him. He likes to play jokes on reporters.
Okay.
And I don't know when someone is joking.
Yeah.
So I had asked him like what's your mindset going into playoff? And he was like, playoff? What do you mean? And I was like,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What you go into to play.
yeah, and like
Ward Stanley, best hockey ever. Thing
right,
yeah.
like
worrying about all
7-game
year.
series.
Yeah, and like especially with the Hurricanes, they had been to the postseason for like, oh god, has it really been 8 years already? That's crazy. I was like doing the math in my head, and like other reporters jumped in to help me re-ask the question, and he answered it, gave me a phenomenal answer. I was devastated as we were walking away because I thought I had made him feel bad for not
Okay.
having understanding me.
Right.
And then one of the other reporters had stopped me on the way out and was like, hey, you realize that he was joking, right? Like, he knew of what playoffs meant. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And even though I had coworkers at the outlet mention autism to me, I was like, I never took it really seriously because I didn't want to lose control over my life and my career if I got diagnosed.
Right.
And then after that, I was like, I need to get diagnosed, and I need to get diagnosed soon because this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I did end up getting diagnosed, and that story is on my diagnostic report.
And I'm guessing it's in your new book too, which
Yes, it is. It's in the book.
Debut author. Yeah.
Yes, debut author, April 22nd.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I look forward to reading it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I asked Kat before the interview. I was like, hey, where can I get your book?
Right.
Like,
Where is this going to be offered for me and for the listeners?
Amazon. It's an Amazon exclusive for right now. I am well aware that there are many issues with Amazon, but for so many reasons, I decided to just stay independent for the book. There's going to be a Kindle version, paperback and a hardback version. No audiobook yet, but we'll see.
It's coming.
Working on that.
Yeah, I mean, we will post about it when it debuts.
Absolutely.
And also, just there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and you have to sell it somewhere, right? So, pick the vendor that's the easiest for you, as what I tell authors and people in general selling whatever.
So I have a question. How did you come up with the name Hockey and Heels? Because I know, like, I had several names for Sass and Slapshots before it started, and just that one was like, that's it. So how did Hockey and Heels happen for you?
There is this amazing book called Autism and Heels by Jennifer Cook that I was reading it before I got diagnosed. After I was released from, I was hospitalized my second year at Meredith and my second year as a Canes reporter, which led to me leaving that job because I was no longer living in Raleigh, and I was like, this feels useless if I can't stay and interview players, and I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten out of the hospital, and my mom had given me that book, Autism and Heels, and I was like, what if I call my blog Hockey and Heels? There's also this like amazing album. I love country music, unfortunately. And there's this amazing album called Hell on Heels by Penalties.
Okay.
I literally listened to that yesterday.
Oh my God,
really
no way.
Funny. Yeah, like obviously Miranda Lambert's awful and blah blah blah, but oh my God, Penalties, I can never get rid of them.
I love Penalties. And I was like, you know what? What if we call it Hockey and Heels? What if we call my blog Hockey and Heels? So
I love it.
I changed my blog name because I started out on Substack, left Substack, went to Tumblr, then came back to Substack.
A whole 180.
Yeah, a whole 180. And my blog originally was just like called, like, it was just Kat Whetstone, my name. And then I changed it to Hockey and Heels, and I was like, this is perfect. This feels like me. This is what I was meant to do.
I love you do two other blogs.
Yeah.
Do you do this full time?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I love that. I mean, that's our goal ultimately is to do this full time for sure. Right now I'm a barista at a local shop and it's part-time, and I do love that job. I don't know if I would ever fully leave that job, but I want to just talk about hockey 24/7, 365. And I have ADHD and my husband is ADHD, and so I also found hockey later in life, and it was very much the same reaction to hockey. I grew up in basketball country, like I've written about it and talked about it. Sorry, I've talked about it and written about it quite a lot. And when I found hockey, when I first saw the Avs during their cup run in 2022, it was okay. I've done drugs, okay, and it is like someone gave me a line of coke, and I was like, I'm in. Oh my God. Like that was the feeling of like euphoria, and I was like instantly addicted to it. And it's been a slow decline into obsession since. So now, I talk about hockey like God, most of my conversations are about it. So it's definitely my hyperfixation. And I love that other people, other neurodivergent people are just like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is amazing.
We got this.
Yeah, it's like I'm validated. So it's really cool that like hockey was your portal into a diagnosis. Like when you first were diagnosed, what were your feelings around that? Because when I was late stage diagnosed for ADHD, I had some big feelings. So I'm just curious what your experience was like.
Oh, so the book actually stemmed from these feelings that I was having. I was so angry after I got diagnosed.
Okay,
I
great. Me
was
too.
so angry.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting like very, very depressed about it. And I was like, I need to start writing again to process these experiences that I've had. And that helped me get to a place where I felt okay with being autistic,
Mhm.
but also not just like feeling okay with it, but feeling like at peace with it and
Yeah.
feeling very much at a place where I could talk about it. I could talk about like being misdiagnosed with like other things. I was misdiagnosed with a mood disorder, which is like the peak of medical misogyny.
Yeah, I don't know if I was
Yeah.
misdiagnosed, but I definitely was misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
No, I when I got diagnosed, I like look everything becomes you look back at your life and this new perspective changes everything that you've been through. And you just sit there and you wonder, like, how the fuck did no one notice this? It was so blatant and no one did anything about anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just that new perspective shook me to the core. And I was very angry and pissed off at, guardians and the medical industry as, together. But I do think, like you, Kat, I've gotten into this space of not only accepting but embracing it. And I'm not one that's like ADHD is your superpower, autism is a superpower. No, it's not. It is a disorder. It is a chronic thing. It's a disability. It's
Yeah.
not a fucking superpower. It affects every single aspect of your life and it is extremely challenging. And there are struggles that go along with it that neurotypical people or just people that aren't diagnosed with a chronic illness or a disability understand or could understand. So when I see that like girl boss superpower thing, I just want to like punch a baby. It's just like, well, sorry, just went on a total rant. Um, I do have a question. So you've been both in the credentialed sports world and you've been in the independent sports journalism world. If somebody were to say to you, like, what advice do you have for each one and which one would you choose? What would you say?
Ooh. I think that my advice is the same, which is stay true to yourself and stay true to your values.
Love that.
That's
Yeah.
very, very hard when you're credentialed sometimes. And I felt very much like the wind had just like swept me up and I was moving along with it. But there are perks and benefits. There are perks and downsides to both. I think ultimately just like staying true to yourself is like the most important thing. It sounds so cliche and so corny, but like it's true. I think if I had to,
I think that that's true. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, and if I had to pick, I think I would pick a combination of both if I could. Because I love to interview people, but I also love to write the way that I want to write.
And I think that's important too, is being able to speak to who you are when you write and inject your personality and your feelings and your thoughts into your writing without having to worry, okay, who's going to call me out on this? Who's worried about what I'm writing about? And I think that's something that V and I have always said, we're going to be who we are. We're going to write what we write and the right people are going to see it and the right people are going to be here. And that's what matters.
Yeah. I think that can go into sports being political too. Like we're in a very tumultuous time in our country and the world because of our country. And I think because of my previous job where I was openly ridiculed about my political stances and being very loud about them, because I used to work in the personal finance space and money is inherently political, obviously. But I felt a little micromanaged as well on my platforms. And now I am so thankful. And I was texting Sarah about this last night, like that we're both on the same page about what we need to do at a time like this and staying true to our empathy and how we view the world and our identities and our activism is so important. And, you know, I've seen people online being like, I've lost 500 followers because I said fuck ICE. And not only do I think that's centering yourself, so please stop doing that, but I also think like the right people will find you. And if you're having a mass exodus, like that's a cleanse. Like, get out of my page, please, because I don't want you to read what I have to write. So I think that's such a good bit of advice, especially for creative people. Like you have the skills and ability to write in a way that is very true to yourself and like you can express yourself in a certain ways. And I think being able to have that ability to be 100% 10 toes down you is so important right now.
Yeah, and especially because I've spent my whole life masking and like putting on a show for people. Like I was a child musical theater actor. I talk about that in the
Literally.
book. I was
Literally.
like literally putting on a show for people for so long, and it was ingrained in me to like never rock the boat, never don't be unladylike. And now it's just like now I get to speak openly, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I
do? I love what you've transformed that into in hockey and heels and all this is like I'm being loud now and I'm taking up my space and I love that so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Joe is always telling me it's okay to take up space. It's okay to take up space because Sarah was born and raised in Kentucky, right? Born and raised?
Yes.
Born and raised in North Carolina. You were in Ohio and North Carolina. I think, especially as women who were raised in the South. Yeah, all of us are like, yeah. It's just, it is.
That's a good reaction video too, B.
Yeah. It's, women everywhere are put under that pressure that you just explained. But I think the pressure in the South for women to adhere and conform and be nurturers to other people way ahead of ourselves and to be quiet it's so much more ingrained in the culture. And so it feels like we're like recovering Southern women in a way, like like we're all loud now and we don't care if we're ladylike or not. We are who we are.
Yes.
And it reminds me a lot of like hockey culture because the men are just expected to be just one way, right? And you can't deviate at all. And like that's how I felt growing up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Like I could not deviate from a certain set of social expectations. I could be loud as long as I was a cheerleader, like that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. So it's great to hear that like all of us are unmasking and relearning what we want to be in this stage in life.
So, Kat, what was the difference between covering the Blue Jackets and the Canes? Because I know that like that's two completely different teams, two completely different styles of play. How did you switch from one to the other?
That's a really great question. I'm not fully sure how, to be honest. I think that the biggest difference that I've noticed in my 2 years covering the Blue Jackets and my 2 years covering the Canes is that the Blue Jackets don't send out their third line to start the game.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I think that it's just two very different but very similar markets at the same time. They're both like, of what makes up hockey is the fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that so much in the fifth line and with the Caniacs. These people, they'll go out and they'll tailgate for hours. And the Blue Jackets fans, the fifth line, they'll be one of my close friends, Jackie, on Stick Tab Jacks on Twitter. She makes Blue Jackets themed cardigans.
Oh,
And
nice.
you see that all the time with these fans of small market teams. They love their team. They will go 10 toes down for their team.
Yeah.
You don't see that very much in big markets. Like Toronto, you see is like by far the best example of this. You see fans like booing and throwing jerseys. Like you would never see that in Carolina or Columbus.
Right.
Like the worst you would see from the fans is like, shoot the puck.
Yeah. I have actually a story about the Canes. So last year, my husband had a work trip down there and over there, I guess, to the east. But we went and they had a game. We were out of the playoffs, but we went to a restaurant and it was evidently a big Canes. It's like that's where people gathered for games and they were in the playoffs and they were playing. And I was like, well, I guess since the Avs are out and I'm here, let's go Canes. And the whole place was just like, you're an honorary Caniac. And they did. It was so great. We spent the whole night like just talking and cheering hockey. And I want to say it's like the Robot Chicken or something. The name was hilarious. And we just had the best night. It was storming. So everybody was in there. We were all cheering. And they're like, you're an honorary Caniac now. And I was like, yes, let's go. But it was really weird to me because like, even here in Denver, like you said, it's a bigger market and a lot of people follow the Avs and love the Avs here. And there may be that I have not discovered places like that here, but when I go into a place in Denver that's got a bunch of people wearing Avs gear, everybody's kind of doing their own thing and, they're very much in their own, doing their own thing. So in Carolina, when I went there and everybody was just like, yeah, you're an Avs fan. Well, you're out. So you're now a fan with us. And I was like, oh, this is different. Okay, cool.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great
Canes
night.
fans and Avs fans are like forever connected now because of the Nature's run and trade. So
yes, yeah.
Yes. Were you covering them at the time of that trade?
Yes, I will. This was like my personal, like I will never forget where I was. I was taking a nap.
Me either.
Relatable.
I was taking a nap and I wake up to like 10 missed calls, 40 texts. I'm like, who died?
Right.
What's happening?
And it's like Taylor Hall is being traded to Carolina. And I'm like, at this hour? at this hour?
Go to bed, guys.
When it's like 6 p.m. or something. And like I start seeing tweets come in being like, this is a multi-team trade. And I was like, oh crap, I have to get out my computer and start writing right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes through that Nature's got traded. And I'll show you actually. I loved, like, Nature's was my first ever favorite player. I have a Nature's bobblehead.
I love that so much.
So the reporter side of me was like, I actually one time when I was covering the Canes, my first ever game being credentialed, they told me, okay, Nature's is going to be available for media tonight. And I hid in the hallway because I was so scared. I was like 20 at the time. I was like 20, keep in mind. And and then when it came through that like Nature's was a part of the trade, I literally like fell on my knees and just like started screaming. I was like, my RA lived next door to me at the time because I was living in a residence hall. And like she texted me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No,
no." Yeah, Colorado wasn't okay either. I assure you.
We were not okay either. But and it's turned out, and we have loved having Marty Party with us. He is
Nature's
a
is really
great
cool.
fit. Yeah, he's a great fit.
I was elated when he
his...
signed the 8-year extension. I was like, you know what? Good for him. I'm gonna like I miss seeing him in Carolina just because like,
of course,
I was obsessed with figure skating before I became a hockey fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm no longer as much of a diehard as I was for just a lot of reasons. But watching Nature's skate created those same emotions that figure skating did within me. So watching him skate with like McKinnon and all the other Avs guys, it's like this team is just built on zoom essentially. And I love it.
I love that.
My
They're built
favorite
on
quote.
Zoom Zoom. Yep.
Yeah, watching him
When
dance, it's unbelievable the skill that he has.
It's always one of my favorite things at warm-ups is to watch Kale. I don't know if anybody else watches Kale during warm-ups, but his dance in the beginning of warm-ups, his skating is just, it's one of those times where I'm like, he not only knows how to play defense, this guy knows how to skate and
Mhm.
skate well. And so seeing Marty do the same thing, and he does the same pregame warm-up every time, and I wait for it because it's beautiful. Like he does a spin move and then turns and backhands into the net every game, and he's always one of the last players back onto back down to the tunnel. He's always one of the last players out, and I love watching that. Yeah, and the game is more interesting, obviously, but watching these guys and their skill in warmups is also so phenomenal. So you said that about figure skating. It just reminds me of Kale doing his little dance every time, and I'm just like, "Ugh, these guys, these guys."
These guys. So you must be really excited about the Olympics then.
Yeah, I am.
Who are you gonna root for? Who are your teams?
So I was gonna do Team Canada and Team Finland,
Okay.
but Team Finland did a great disservice to me personally by leaving Patrick Laine off the roster.
Yeah,
I am the
yeah.
world's biggest Patrick Laine fan, if you don't know this. I wrote an article
I love it.
about him when he was in the player assistance program, essentially like defending him and like telling Columbus media like, hey, back off, like this is a real
Yeah.
person. And I talked about my own struggles with PTSD and depression and being hospitalized, and his wife saw the article and reached out to me with a very, very sweet message. So I have been a huge fan ever since then. I follow the Habs very, very loosely, just for Laine.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I love it.
And he was left off of Team Finland because of his injury. So I was
Team
like,
Finland
well,
is dead to me.
Team Finland, I'm not cheering for you. You are dead to me. So I guess I'll just do Team Canada because I love Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
want to see all the good things come Sidney Crosby's way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Always.
Yeah, definitely Team Canada over here because like all of the Avs, and then Sweden because Landeskog is my
Landy.
man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And also Team Latvia. Yeah, Latvia.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Elvis Merslakens because I love him too.
Ah!
I love goalies.
Yeah, goalie
and
girl.
I love goalies that are shamelessly themselves. And Elvis is very much shamelessly himself. In his first interview with North American media, he said, "I'm not like a normal goalie." He has lived up to not being a normal goalie, and I can't wait to see what chaos he gets into at the Olympics.
He's like,
I love
goalies are
that.
weird. I'm worse.
I'm weirder.
I'm the weirdest goalie.
I'm
all
the
the
king of the
goalies.
weirdos.
I will take the crown of weirdest goalie.
Yeah.
I love that.
it. All right. So, Kat, please tell everybody where they can find you, and I guess what projects you have coming up. Obviously, we will promote the crap out of your new book. I can't not wait to read it. Like,
Wait, I
Thank
know.
you.
it's going to be a really good read for me because we have so much in common. So please do your promo.
Yes. So you can find me at Hockey and Heels pretty much everywhere. And my book, Manic Autistic Dream Girl, comes out April 22nd on Amazon.
Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
Well,
Yay.
thank you so much for coming on, Kat.
Yes.
Sorry I
Thanks for
kind of
having
steamrolled
me.
there in the beginning. I was just like so excited to talk to you, and when I get excited, my mouth goes blah, 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 blah. So that's me.
We both do it sometimes. Sorry.
You're fine. I do it too. No worries.
If you're ever in a room with us, like we just talk over each other. So yeah. Thank you for coming on. I am so excited to follow your independent journalist career. And I wish nothing but the best for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We're going to go over the top 5 in the NHL, the top 3 in the PWHL, and the injury report. Sarah, take it away.
All right, top 5 in the NHL right now. Once again, coming in first is the Colorado Avalanche with 12% chance of winning the Cup. Second is Tampa Bay Lightning. They have overtaken us in chances to win the Cup with a 12.3% chance there. Coming in third, Minnesota Wild with 7% chance. Carolina Hurricanes, 11.1. Okay, Canes. And the Dallas Stars coming in fifth with a 7.2% chance of winning the cup.
Love to
Top
see it.
three top three in the PWHL right now. Boston Fleet keep their top position. Coming in second is the Frost out of Minnesota. And then we have the Montreal Victoire coming in third.
Yeah, they knocked the Sirens off of the third spot. So
happy for that.
Go Poo.
Go Victoire. Yeah, go Victoire. Oh my gosh, that video. I don't want to get too off track, but that video she put out, oh my gosh, I cried. I was like,
they're the best.
I know. Okay, so injury report. We're going to keep it to the top 10 because there's it's that time of year where we have a ton of injuries. So we're going to do top 10
this is
right
not
now.
everybody. It's not an extensive list. There were like 60 players injured at this time of year. So
it's constant right now. So Lindholm for the Bruins is out. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
My favorite name to say.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Luukkonen. For the Sabres is out. Ghosten Bear. Again, Ghosten Bear.
Ghosties
out
be here.
For the Canes. Taves and Landy are still out for the Avalanche, but Landy is skating.
Yes, he is. Thank God. So excited.
And I think Bednard's presser, he said Taves should be back any day now. So
good.
Just waiting on that.
Awesome.
Henrique from the Oilers, Kopitar from the Kings, Hughes for the Devils, Sherwood for the Sharks, Gunther for the Mammoth.
Yeah.
Gunther for the Mammoth, and Nylander and Tanev are still out for the Leafs.
Alrighty. And that is your standings, percentages, and injury report. All right. And now we're going to do the Hockey 101, 3 top used acronyms in the hockey world. Sarah?
Okay, so first we have IR, which is injured reserve. If the player is injured, but it's not going to be months and the season, they put them on IR and bring up another player, most of the time from an AHL affiliate with the team. And then you have long-term injured reserve. And long-term injured reserves mean this player is going to be out for quite a bit of time. When they're put on long-term IR, sometimes that money that they take out isn't counted towards the cap hit because they're going to be out long enough that they're not going to be playing. So normally you have to either sign or bring someone in, which means you have to sign, spend more money. So that's the difference in long-term injured reserve and IR. One is more short-term, one is long-term, even season, if they're going to be out most of the season. And now there's new rules, which we can go into later about LTIR and playoffs and all that. But we'll go over that on another episode. AAV is total contract value divided by its number of years. And it is basically a player's cap hit. So what money they're taking out of our average annual amount of money we have to spend on players. That's what they're taking out per year, which is AAV, average annual value.
And I think the next solo episode we do, I want to go over cap and AAV.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. Like, that's what I love.
Right. And that is not what I do. So it'll be good for me to learn because it's like that Andy Dwyer meme. Like, I don't know what this is. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. So I know there are other fans out there that are like, I know this is a thing, but I don't understand it. We'll probably have an episode.
I love it. I say I'm money and stats. I love them. So
great.
When I see players getting their contracts, I like to delve into it because I really like seeing, are we getting our money's worth? Is this player going to be worth the millions we're paying?
Right. All right. And to close up the episode, our Sasquatch supporter of the episode is Aaron Meadow. Thank you so much for your monetary contribution and helping us make this podcast the best that it can be while we get paid a little bit. If you are interested in supporting this podcast episode with your dollar bills, go to Substack and subscribe. It is $5 a month. It is it's less than a coffee at this point. So, yay, inflation. All right, guys. Thank you for listening and stay sassy.
Stay sassy, guys.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Sass and Slapshots. If you're craving more hockey content from us before next week's drop, have no fear. We're 2 chronically online hockey nerds.
Check out our Substack, social media channels, and support links below. If you're interested in sponsorship or collaboration, feel free to reach out at sassandslapshots.com.
Special shout out to our editor, Joe Bogomil, and our graphic designer, Corey Tyler.
We appreciate all of the support and can't wait to chat with you next week. Bye.
Bye.